trailer. All right, I ready. Yep. Okay. Call a meeting to order of this regular city council meeting of July 20th at 7 o'clock. We start the flag, so the pledge allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Brian Lewis. He's on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. It's on the phone. Council President Roger Berry.
Here.
Councilor Jeff Hensley.
Here.
Councilor Dina Oliveris.
Present.
Councilor Joseph Parsons.
Present.
We have a quorum, Mr. Council President.
Visitors. Three documents. And one. Then we have public people. Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a motion to pay the bill.
Make the motion that we pay the bills.
Well, that's not that motion, but paying the bill. All in favor? Aye.
Brian, do you vote yes on paying the bills?
Yes.
Motion passes, Mr. Council President.
Okay, we have a motion to pass the minutes on June 13th. Make the motion. Back to the minutes for the meeting 15. Go for it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, how do you vote? Oh, so you said yes. Okay, perfect.
Okay. This is the time to speak to the city and the council. What the matter, my name is Nick, the good you want it listed on the agenda except for public hearings. Time limit is 3 minutes per person. Do you have any other comment? Yeah, none, but go on. City recorder's report.
Woohoo. So our original projected surplus for the last year was $65,000. During the budget cycle, I was able to project $196,000. And our final surplus was a little over $207,000 cash on hand, all told. So yeah, we went from a $1 million shortfall to a $200,000 surplus in a year. So
That's pretty good.
yeah, it's a lot of cities right now going, oh, we're in $1 million shortfall. I'm like, Sodaville can do it. You can figure it out.
Yeah.
We didn't raise taxes a cent. Yep, it's great. Office hours, we switched them from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Now the legislative session has ended. It makes it a lot easier for me to keep up with JD. Rep Kate was able to secure $370,000 for our water system expansion. Keller and Associates has a contract prepared for the council's approval later to get an updated cost estimate. Once that's done in a month or two, hopefully we can finally get the money to finally get into well, to finally take care of our water problem. Finally, 30 years on, we'll have it fixed.
Yeah.
Expected travel this summer. There are 3 conferences I wanted to look at going to. CIS annual conference, and that is in August. It's going to be at the Salishan Resort near Lincoln City. There's the Oregon Association of Municipal Recorders in Grand Ronde at the Spirit Mountain Casino in September. And then October, I want to go to the League of Oregon Cities Conference along with Mayor Lewis. I was able to secure myself a full ride scholarship to go to the LOC conference. So we'll only have to pay for the cost of the mayor to attend with me. So that'll be fun. The other thing is that I would like to take a vacation the week of August 14th to finally go on my honeymoon. So
the CIS and the OAMR,
Yep.
are those sponsored as well? too? Remember before when you were talking about them, you thought you might be able to.
I applied for a scholarship for both. I think I'm still waiting here from CIS. CIS, trying to remember last year, I don't quite remember. Was it? I did go to CIS and OAMR last year, both. So I think I'm still waiting to hear back from both of those about scholarships. But I did go to those last year without scholarships. So
What would the price be for those?
remember. I think the price for CIS. That's it. CIS conference is actually, yeah, the CIS conference is actually going to be free to attend. We'll just have to pay for lodging, so that's going to be the only cost there. OAMR, it's $500 for the attendance, and then the one scholarship they're offering this year is for lodging. So I did apply for the lodging scholarship, and we just have to wait to hear back from them. Yeah. City County Insurance Services, that is the entity that all the cities and counties jointly pay into to provide all sorts of fun things. So
I got something really much. We'll talk about that here, but what you guys
Yeah.
conferences, pretty sure that's undecided.
Yeah. So yeah, and part of the deal with this year compared to the last one is that these were all conferences that I went to last year without having to search for a bunch of scholarships for them. There are additional ones that I want to go to in the second half of the year, and those are the ones I'm really going to have to compete for. And if I am not able to get those, then I will not be able to go.
And what is that?
There's going to be another OAMR one. There might be another. I think it's IAMC. It's the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. Gets me some additional, additional certifications, and then I think there might be another League of Oregon Cities training somewhere in the middle. So, yeah, it's up to 3 more. Another LSC event, another OAMR event, and an International Municipal Clerks event. So, I would be prefer. Which one do I prefer? I mean, I'd like to go to all of them, but I'm only going to go if I get money to go. So. OAMR probably would be the top one for the second one. So these are basically the 3 that we were able to accommodate me going to last year. So there's not really going to be much change in our end of the year expenses. I am being a little more competitive with scholarships right now than I was last time around. And then it's kind of the over and the above beyond these 3. The other ones I want to go to, I'm going to have to do the fundraising and scholarshiping for.
And I don't know how to say this without sounding like I'm being mean, but because we do appreciate you going out, because it's not just a scholarship, it's you being gone.
Yeah.
So, the shuffling to cover that, so it's good to know.
I'll try to make sure it's not terribly.
No billing time.
No billing.
No temp leave.
Oh, no. Yeah. Love it. Yeah, I think that's all I have for that report.
Yeah. I think works before. We're lost for a lot of time, it's 10.45%. After that, we're getting lots of restrictions. We got back to vacation. The resident found down in 10 feet. We started trucking on it yesterday. Slowly getting that going. PLC is going to be scheduled to be replaced on August 16 and 17. You guys hopefully it's ready to stuff on the streets. One thing or two, thank you to the mayor for monitoring the wells, thank you to Tim for monitoring the restrooms, and Alex for monitoring the little paper requests. I didn't put him on there, he was not with that. Both with Habitat for Humanity today, and their property down on St. Lucas Street. We're requesting the ability to cut the street and running the power line, well, not their power line. The primary, they want to bring it down. So we get a little benefit of the land, they want to have the property. They were looking at boring it before, and that's over $20,000 to be boring, just like our leads already beat us, and I'm sure they'll see the back of everything. That's like, if they were do not, we just don't run by you guys. Do you have any thoughts on that? I'm right.
No, I want to go across that street there.
There is one, but that's further up the other.
Okay. And I know that a lot of guys do. With the flooding, got a lot of it.
And that's another thing, we may have to put in another water line there too.
Yeah.
To service, have it left, the one that's already there, the owner of the property. If we put one inch line, we can split it between the two restaurants. But if it's not, we're gonna add another one under there.
I'm not sure what the line is. I know they used to use that in rock bed. They put out line up years ago and that would cause some big house there. Women County and so I just wanted to do it out. They cut it to that water line. They wouldn't even cut it out right again.
Right.
And I'm doing it, don't know if you want to have to.
I
don't think I would think so.
I guess that's a pretty good point too, you know, if we got anything, we need to do underground there as well.
Yeah,
Maybe we can throw it in at a time. Yeah, I mean, we could help with the cost a little bit, you know, for allowing us to
Yeah.
throw it in there instead of covering up the couple of times.
So, yeah, they were gonna run one extra sleep in our house when we get a chance. So we could have one.
Okay. I just wanted you to stop that one.
As far as conferences, I signed up for the suicide going to conference again. I'm not gonna do the week after Alex gets back from training.
You can call it an anniversary, sorry.
It's not quite a year yet.
And then there's a distribution of one class, I believe it's a filter, like say, it's a 1 day class, something like Oswego, so I just went 1 to 1 day to do that. And I don't remember, but I want to say the cost was like $135.
And in English, what is that?
Distribution, it helps get my distribution one. So I'm certified to do more stuff, it's like, and have more knowledge on how things work and operate, even stuff that we don't have in the future, if it's well, have some understanding. So
Fluid distribution, that was an actual word means to distribute, so.
so on different valve uses and pipes and
So it's about, it's water related.
yes, water and wastewater.
Learn something every day.
Um, So you'll be gone, you'll be here during the POP replacement, correct? That's the week after hours. And the PLC, yeah, that's the end of the week analysis. Like you'll be gone the 11th, 19th, 11th, 14th for vacation, 15th for work.
August,
I know, 14th to work.
that week.
Yeah, which is good. There's no, so 14th to the 20th.
Yeah.
Through the Sunday.
Yeah.
Maybe. On the streets, maybe, what was the version there? With Jason, the $4,000 price ticket for Vine Street, is that an oil based thing you're talking about? Yeah. Cool, I was gonna ask about that. Yeah, we went and we discussed, yeah, he said that if we can get it, there's only one company in the area that needed to get it. And he said it's probably gonna be about $4,000. And then the first round, it'll be done. So that's kind of a way. 4,000 for the one street or 4,000 for all of them. That's one separate. And then, with village streets, what trees need to be trimmed, like the ones going down Maple? Possibly Maple, there's some on, there's kind of, it's the ones that are. Yeah. Probably can repeat over the time. The dump truck with it, that up. And then, so for that, I were to do it, probably rent the bucket truck again from the place in Lebanon, and then just go up there and look down and something down. And then they're saying that the canal needs to be built up, which is understandable because there's nothing left there, based on. Yeah. One neighbor here, are they talking about breaking that all up into sections or like just in one time kind of come in and do it or kind of whatever we decide to do? It's based on the either side. He was just giving me knowledge.
Yeah.
Sure, for sure. And if it was something that we wanted to do, what was the scheduling on that? I didn't get a schedule on that. Okay. We need to do our part before we, yeah, I understand. I just didn't know, like, just in there, like, hey, by the way, it's there's more months out. You know, it's better to do it in rainier season. So I understand all that. Yeah, we have to make decisions and vote on stuff. We probably wouldn't be till October, November, December, anything. So like. Yeah. So like, just trying to figure out, so like our first step would be
First quarter of 2026.
Oh, we got.
I think it was like 45,000. Hang on, something else. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna get it from my notes.
Let me finish that. I need to go out and wheel out each of those roads width and length. And then figure out how much gravel, 2 to 3 inches. How many truckloads. I was just thinking if we could even just figure out desired areas, 2 kilometers for now, but yeah. If you're gonna bring a grader out, you can do it, might as well just do it. Yeah. The grader and torque is gonna be. So our next step would be getting the tree strip. That'll be the next. That area, and then. Thank you. Yep. That's on. Yeah.
Are you done? Any quick questions?
Just
Okay.
those missing measurements.
Okay. Do we know, was it just, are the wells functioning okay? Should we use a lot of water or?
Well, number 4 is flowing right now. Well, number 1 is flowing a little bit. Well, number 2 is staying steady, but that one's our worst well anyway. And number 3 is flowing down slightly. Number 4 is our. Number 4 is our last. Second, that's producing all normally, and it's first one that starts petering out, and then first one to come out.
And then my next question is, on Westview. Are they talking the whole road, or are they talking when that guy was talking about it's bad and he's switches, going up the hill?
The intersection of the road from Lori's house, basically the intersection right there, Lori's house, from there out to Mason. Private area. It, or it's gonna be a few years, 5 to 10 road, next to roads down here.
And that's a private road, but public use, someone told me that's what that means in English.
But American time, they don't want big roads to be, and it's gonna be gravel, so you're gonna set the road as itself. The thing is, how they want to put that on it, the city voted to make it a private road, private road and public access. But it was the city not maybe to maintain them.
Sort of like an HOA.
It was supposed to be, all it was supposed to be a homeowners association program, where everybody paid so much a month for the year to do the maintenance on the roads. But when they sold the properties, nobody signed the contracts with that. Same as the development down there and the North Street development, all set up the same way, you know. Subdivisions were supposed to have a homeowners association to collect money to pay for repairs, but it's never been done.
Which you said that it was donated to the city.
Well, it was Northern County's property, the developer developed that.
Right.
It wasn't donated. The right of way is donated to the city, but it's not only donated to the city, it's still, I don't know, it's actually people that live on it, own it. The state still wants to maintain it.
I'm looking at next week, probably going to county roads department. And seeing what we can pull up on their maps for actual ownership and roads. It may not happen next week, but I'm gonna try and get them next week. Because there is a lot of things on that.
That road's got 4 different things on it.
Oh, it has more than that. It's W View Drive, West View, one word, W View Street. I had a heck of a time getting there.
Well,
Even when I closed the property.
before they put that road in across the front of your property there, the fire department, we had access up to the school. They come out, they couldn't find the road, it starts out St. Louis, then it goes St. Charles, then it goes to Westview, Go to Old Street on up the hill, and they were lost. But the city went to the post office trying to get that changed in the one name of the street. The thing is, I was a resident on each different lane of that street. The post office said, well, they changed the mailboxes, you're down, that's what's the fee.
The post office has one rendition, the county reporter has another rendition, and somebody else has, it was free when you tried to sign papers.
Yeah.
It's like.
It's a mess.
The county clerk called me up today asking for clarification about that. I said, buddy, if you could find that, you'd be the first one.
Like I said, I was in the court back in that moment. That's obviously that's been a few days ago, instead of a couple times since then.
Yeah, it used to be a 10-acre parcel with one house in there.
Yeah.
Actually, the guy.
Their house is living in.
No, it was a doctor that lived up there. That's all it is. There's an elitist, but
Yeah.
anyways, the guy was up there, he's building his house and builder went up there and asked him to sell it. He said, nope. He was out in his front one day. I asked him if he wanted to sell it. He said, nope. Next time he came up, his wife was sick and daughter got sick and the son was not at the door. And so I went up there again, or the developer went up there again and he sold it. Otherwise, that division wouldn't be there, I guess is what I'm saying. That's the only thing that I led it to. So
I have nothing else. Nobody else has. Nope. Comes out.
We have five limits and only 4 words, right? Okay. Number 5 is, it is registered with the state as an emergency well, because it's got iron bacteria that goes on. I'm just trying to recap what you said. Number 4 is our best one. Number 1 is our best one. And then number 4 is second. Number 3 is third, and number 2 is last. We just going over a chance to get this. Okay, thank you. That's all. What are your names? It's been a while. Not that I enjoyed it, but like saying, okay, why are you down there? Instead, we could do some rain.
Okay. All done with that? Yeah, new management. Resolution 23-10, LGIP transfer.
This is a resolution authorizing our bi-monthly transfer from the state pool account into our checking account. So this would be about 7,900 that goes from LGIP into checking, and then 496 that goes from checking into LGIP to maintain our water reserve. The extra $2 per month that people pay. And I do keep track of that separately, so we know. Yep. Yeah, so the very first resolution we passed for that one specifically was a month after that had begun, so it was like 248. I'm planning on doing this bi-monthly, so they're always going to be. Yep. Yeah, that's the number of rate pairs we have this month. Times 2. Or times 4. Yep.
Yeah, you want to make a motion, that we adopt the resolution, adopt the resolution 23. A second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Mr. Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you.
Yes, now we go like contact review board. Okay. Alcohol board of public hearing of the city of Sodaville contract review board at 724. Staff discussion with the past the city before the review and contracts in. Then. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah, what is the next?
Best council decision.
Okay, yeah. So diving, we have to get divers. Right. Yep. So this is where we have, they sent me a contract and we're doing that one. Yep. Yep. So,
Yes.
Did we like?
Well, no, we're gonna use them before. The company we used in the past.
is no longer in business. And this is where I got I reached out for 3 different bids. Theirs was considerably lower than the other one that I got. You know, they said we can do it, but they never did.
Oh, so Carissa had said she was gonna send a renewed contract with an updated price, and I think she has sent that original to both of us. She didn't actually end up making any changes. So it's the same one we've been looking at for a while.
So it's fine, or is it still reading? Yeah, no, it's, the next council to say, it's Beckton. So, anybody got any? I don't see anything wrong with it.
The only question I have is, you know, since this is a new company that we haven't used before, how do we verify that they don't, or what do they do to sterilize their equipment? So if they don't contaminate it,
It's all highly regulated. They have to play by the rules and play the right game to even have the certification.
okay,
Yeah. They have to go up, they have to take a 3 man per 1 to 2 for the man, 1 has to stay out as in safety at all times. Okay, and they do have a certain bleach mixture that they have to spray and so forth.
my guys just curious from my own.
Yeah.
Part of it, you know, I mean, we don't want to know a lot of that company, I don't know what they said. You know, they said that they followed the regulations, but.
Well, if that goes up in the water, it's anymore again.
Well, typically hear that, Nancy, you see it in the Wawa,
Right.
and
Yeah, I read through on the bottom.
not that I understand.
Nope, that was my point, yeah, I didn't know what they do, but yeah. But cool, I mean, it's something we gotta get done. So.
Well, when they do that, are we interrupting service or anything we need to tell people like you might be water that's like pink in
You'll
your
probably, we'll probably let people know that it's happening, because the water's going to come by and dirty. They're gonna be able to look back and back and all of a sudden back and studying it up and so inside there inspecting everything. So we probably do this.
Be proactive.
And it's for those that don't, it's supposed to be 1 years.
Would you give it now?
19.
Oh.
Yeah, we've been keeping it pretty active. Very fast. You know, you guys end up with water, just gonna stand the bar.
It takes about a week to clean it out and you get complaints from.
Yeah. Even on over. Even on okay, so your final rules are organisms. Yeah. I guess they're, we during the life, right? Okay, so that. We discussed on that. I guess, what did comment on the contract? Is there any additional council or staff discussion? Entertain a motion to vote on approval of the contract. I entertain a motion to approve the contract with Midco Diving. Anyone?
I move to approve the contract with Midco Diving.
Second on that one. The all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, now, that especially advice, the city quarter review the contract with government associates.
So we got two documents here that the mayor is going to sign once we vote. The first one is just the agreement with Keller and Associates. It's their contract. They're kind of boilerplate for working with us. Basically, again, what the state wanted was just an update to the cost estimate they did for us in 2017. Once they give that to us, then we can get the loan and then we can get the well and everything. So the other option, or that the other document there, the mayor is going to need to sign. This says Exhibit A on the top. That is language that Business Oregon gave us that we are required to include in the contract if we want to be reimbursed for this money we spent. So we will be spending under this contract $5,450 on it because we're adding the exhibit. We get to be reimbursed for it. So, yay!
Yeah.
We'll make it all back.
Good.
So you motion now? We have council discussion. Yeah, we want to discuss the. The only thing I'm not understanding is the land purchase. So like. In the last line, that covers everything but that. So. I guess my concern is that you're making it sound like we're gonna be guaranteed for a loan. But we don't have all the information.
Yeah, so
So I
the
don't know.
goal of this process is to get all of that information together at an updated rate.
I just, there's a couple steps, you know, we're saying, oh yeah, we're gonna get this, but yet there's 3 or 4 things. big
Yeah,
numbers
it's-
that we haven't
It's not gonna
figured out yet.
take like a day to complete this. It's gonna take really a few months to get this all together.
Part of the process.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to understand, I was under the impression that Keller Williams covered all of that, and they don't, they only cover the construction portion. Correct? Was that land purchase and all of that?
So what they wrote in 2017 was the draft preliminary engineering report, and all of that information, including land purchases, everything was in that document.
So we reached out to Don and this would be still.
Well, see, that's,
But well, yeah, reaching out to the landowner is going to be part of this update process.
I didn't see that in the development purchase in phase last time. So I'm led to believe that that stuff is covered, and from the last information you gave me, it's not in there. So I just somehow. But yeah, I just want to make sure we're all on our ducks in a row. So. And the stuff that you sent me, that's a minor detail, it's not gonna stop us from now, it's just,
All right, I'll take a look at that and trying to see.
because that wasn't a part of it. All the construction was, the pipes, the stuff, but the actual purchase of well easements and all of that wasn't in that information. It was just about the construction alone. So if you're, I just want to make sure, I guess the question I'm asking is, will that be included in this, or is that going to be a separate?
I mean, I understand. I understand.
That doesn't stop what we're here tonight.
Yes, no, I understand that's all gonna be included because. And every
Because like,
time,
I don't want to be led down the road, it's just supposed to be included, and then we get all done and it wasn't included, correct?
okay. What Keller does say in this contract is if there ends up needing to be a modification beyond what we're talking about right now, if somehow that doesn't end up actually having been part of it, there is room in the contract for us to expand and have that be included in there. The price will go up, but again, that will also be reimbursed to us because of the exhibit that they're adding to the contract.
Yeah,
They will be negotiating with the property owner, touching basically the property owner.
Yeah,
They'll see for that.
Yeah.
Because I was just reading here, just within the scope. The scope does not include reevaluating any of the project components or adjusting the recommendations that were already included in the third. The scope does not, the scope of this work does not include updating the entire report, sections, maps, or data, only the cost estimate. Okay. So this. I think you understand. What I said, but this-
yeah.
I might be just being. So
No, I think it's a really good points.
Yeah, never be afraid to ask.
I just feel like
It's good. Yeah, no,
I'm spending $400 the green one right now for them to do is to go back and do the review.
yeah, so we did the,
Well,
yeah, in 2017, they gave a master list of costs. And that cost list included land acquisition.
right.
And updating the cost estimate is going to include property
So
acquisition.
that was for easements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Access and-
Yes,
So those agreed on that, still we have the same access that we had. So it says the internet. So it's just around one to review on that, and since we gotta put in a different well. Because the other one didn't meet the standards, that's what they're reviewing right now to write up the contract. I mean, it's also gonna be worded that it's not gonna be on prime or designated well, it's gonna be a supplemental well, right?
Yeah, so I'm of the opinion, remembering what I've read, that I think this is already covered.
Yeah.
But if I'm mistaken, the contract we're signing with Keller does include an additional service clause, where if we end up having to expand this, because that isn't actually included like I think it is, then there is a mechanism in that contract for us to add that. And then, because of the additional addendum that Business Oregon gave us, we will be reimbursed for that additional work.
Yeah, I just think that's.
Yeah, I think we're all in the road. If we're not, I think the contract and the reimbursement arrangement cover us if that ends up being a problem. You're keeping me sharp too. It's good. I love it.
Yeah, I don't believe it. So they put, so they have their name is public comment. I just got that. Now discussion. Motion to approve the I'm going to make a move to approve the contract with Keller. Second on that, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay,
And then, yeah, close the public hearing.
I'm just public hearing. See that sort of contract they did for it, that. Instead.
Ordinance 10C. Oh, yeah. You have to read the ordinance hearing.
Okay. I can speak these down, this is something else, right?
Yeah, so the next item is a 10C ordinance 2305. So you read through the
Can I do this one?
Yep.
Good. Steps for conducting a public hearing. It opens the meeting, open the public hearing, the state of Texas. And hearing was conducted as follows. I will make opening the statement and set any ground rules. When testifying, please give the name, address for the record. For those of you testifying, please give any testimony related to this application and be as concise as possible. And though this not necessarily most hearings, we may ask you to limit your testimony to no more than 3 minutes. Is any member of the audience have any objections to the city council jurisdiction in this matter? Not hearing any, I'll go on. Does any member of city council have any conflict of interest with regard to this request? If so, please indicate the detail of your conflict of interest and leave the council able to test it. As any council members have pre-hearing contact with any party involved in this case, either for or against the proposal. If so, please explain your pre-hearing contact. Then I'll go on. I expect you to see the quarter. To keep the ordinance and its entirety, unless someone on the council would like to make the motion to have it read by title, the hearing court is fulfilling the charter requirements for the ordinance to be read by title.
I make a motion that city recorder read it by title only.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Ordinance 2305, amending ordinance number 2. And that is number 2, as in the second ordinance that was passed.
Okay. Is anyone on the council staff have any questions?
I have to ask me to present about it. You need to ask me to make a presentation about it.
Oh,
Should be.
let's say. They said that's just about that. Let's see. But if I look at it, I don't think. So,
They call this the question.
Okay, so it says after you say I entertain a motion to read the ordinance by title only, then you say have Alex present the ordinance. Is the next.
oh,
Yeah, I can present the ordinance for you. So we're changing the title of city recorder to city administrator dash recorder. This is covered in ordinance number 2, which established the first 2 city employee offices that were city recorder and city marshal. They changed the title of city marshal eventually. So administrator recorder, it also clarifies all references to administrator or recorder included in existing ordinances and resolutions do refer to this one, so we don't have to go through and change all of them. The other thing we are specifying, the legislative intent here is that changing this title does not change current compensation or benefits or anything. It is just, it's an administrative housekeeping change that the council is making. So tomorrow I can't go, okay, give me double. Yeah, you can't. That's not what this is about. So
And that kind of makes the position. It's kind of.
Yeah.
And doesn't keep it on the side.
yeah, Yeah, it's- yeah.
Like, you know, conferences and stuff like that, it's, you know, administrative / recorder. But we don't have to be fixated, you know, Alex was the lead on administrator or a recorder. If somebody comes to us with the qualifications of either or, we're open to it, right?
yeah.
Yep.
It's things been done through you 2 times.
It changed a lot of ordinances.
Take it back.
Yeah, so it just kind of just broadens the
Yeah.
scope of that.
Ask for public testimony.
Okay, public testimony. All people wish to testify on behalf of the ordinance will now testify. Remember to give your name and address for the recording. Many of the council members down have any questions.
You're smart if you didn't.
Is there any good place?
Right. All people wish to testify and update that this ordinance will now testify. Please give name and address for this record. Any names, any council members or staff have any question? Do other people wish to testify? Does anyone wish to testify in anybody? For any testimony that has been offered? Okay. No, but that's here nothing. Before I continue, public hearing. Are there any additional questions, council members, staff, or anybody? Once the hearing is closed, the council may speak. Public hearing is now closed. The city council shall now discuss the ordinance and make a decision.
Yeah, I think it's, I'll make a motion. I move to adopt the ordinance. 23-5.
One second.
Now, I'm gonna listen to some
Oh, yeah. Boy, I'm still.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carries.
And then we have to do it all again with the next one.
Okay. Karen, just open to every hearing. Here, the ordinance. The hearing will be conducted as follows. Opening statement, it's not any matters. But testifying, please give your name and address for the recording. For those of you testifying, please give testimony relating to the application and be as concise as possible. Whenever it is not necessary, in most hearings, we may ask, leaving your testimony to no more than 3 minutes. Does any member of the audience have any questions? Any objections to the city's council jurisdiction staff? Hearing none. Is any member of the city council have conflict of interest regarding any request? If so, please give indicate nature and conflict of interest of legal council people to the testimony. Has any council member had a pre-hearing contact with any party involved in this case, either for or against the proposal? If so, please explain your pre-hearing contact. Having none. I don't have an estimate. City recorder, main ordinance, it is a copy of this, some other council, like to make the most of that. That only, the recorders, that's, but they all the charters requirements for the ordinance to be read by the time.
I have to look at the ordinance like that to be given.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed?
Aye.
Matt?
He's just getting on board with his eye. He's got a.
Okay.
Ordinance 2306, amending ordinance 1201.
Okay, I have Alex, is that the ordinance?
So this is about how to establish a chain of command for council contact with the attorney. The idea is to avoid anybody just kind of randomly calling them up and them us running up legal bills, making sure there's kind of a method for us to contact the attorney, but also a method for other counselors to contact the attorney if they suspect that something's gone wrong, God forbid. First off, if the council president or a counselor suspects that both the mayor and the city recorder are involved in a legal problem, then they or the council president on their own initiative call and go, hey, I think there's a problem. If another counselor suspects that the mayor, the recorder, and the council president are involved, then they and another counselor can both call up the attorney and go, hey, we think there's a problem. If one lone counselor suspects that everybody but them is involved, then they can do that. So that's kind of the hierarchy. Ideally, this is a small enough group and we're communicating well enough that it shouldn't get that far, but in case it does, anybody who's blowing the whistle to the city's legal counsel has protection under our ordinances to go and do that. The other thing I put in there is that the ordinance will also require the legal counsel to review all matters that are presented prior to making a determination or writing a legal opinion containing unverified allegations. If somebody goes in and says, hey, I think they're embezzling or something, like they're going to have to actually investigate before going. Here's a 20-page report with somebody who said something, give me $1,000.
Okay. Does anyone on the council or staff have any questions? I think that's a good. All people wish to testify in behalf of this ordinance will now testify. Remember to give your name and address to record. Do any council members or staff have any questions? All people wish to testify in opposition to the ordinance not to will allow them to testify. Please give your name and address to the record. Do any council members or staff have any questions? Do any other people wish to testify? Does anyone wish to testify in rebuttal to this testimony that has been offered?
I think it's pretty solid. It's what we need to be.
Before I continue the public hearing, are there any extra questions for council members or staff of anyone that has testified? Once the hearing has been closed, only the council members or staff may speak. Okay. Public testimony is now closed. The city council shall now discuss the ordinance and make a decision.
I make a motion, or I move to adopt ordinance 23-6.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any nays? Motion carries. Okay. That one went back better. Okay, go down to the next one, accessory use structures.
All right. We have our esteemed council emeritus, Ray Jackman, applied to just put a garage on a piece of property and then not put anything else there. We have resolution 302 says that there may be special circumstances when an accessory use needs to be constructed on a lot prior to the development of the primary use of the property, or the accessory use may be the only use on a lot. A decision to authorize the accessory use in a lot prior to the construction of a primary use shall be referred to the city council. So he submitted an application, everything worked out, on our end, looking for it. It's not on a floodplain. Nice. So on our end, everything's good. We just need the council to approve this. Basically, you've got your house on one lot, and you want to build a garage on the lot next to it, right? So simple enough.
I don't care, it's just confusing to me.
I know, it used to be you could do this, but they made it, years ago, they made an ordinance saying you could not put accessory building on a piece of property.
But he already has some two buildings on the property, so why would that be considered
But it's a
a?
different, piece of personal property,
It's
isn't
a
it?
different lot.
It's a different lot number. Cause see, I would like to put I'd like to do the same thing. I'd like to put a building on my lower piece of property, which is then adjacent to my own property, but I want to put it down on the flatter ground down below. So I'm in favor of this. I just want to,
So that 4 acre lot isn't the same lot that Andy's house is on, or your house?
Separate tax. You remember
Yeah, this
the address of the property? Or do you remember the address of the property?
I don't think they're in the property.
I don't have an address.
Okay.
No property in the city can have an address that isn't has a dwelling on it.
Okay.
And I know that too, because I tried that one time for the post office. That's why we had such a problem with the place down here that started this thing about not being able to do that. Was the guy got a permit to put a shop on his property. And then just a shop, did not put a residence on it. Then he decided to move into the property and put an address house in front of it and started getting mail there. And that caused a big conflict for the city. Then that's when this ordinance was passed, where you couldn't do that, so stop this. Which I think is kind of stupid. If you own the property, it's adjacent to the other piece of property, you should be fine to use the property as you see fit, is what I see it. But I'd like to see that, that thing go away out of our city personally. Yeah.
So I'm totally for this, but to understand, because it says development prior to the development of the primary use of the property or the accessory use may be the only use. And then it says a decision to authorize the accessory use prior to the construction of a primary use. Because there's not going to be a primary use. So
Yeah.
do we need to.
So the ordinance, the resolution as a whole, VO2, makes the wording here a little hinky. So I figured it was better to be on the safe side and have the council approve rather than just have staff approve this. Because I think taking together with everything in the resolution, somebody could say, well, hang on, there should be a council vote, and that ends up being a problem if I just approve this. So I think it's probably better to do this. We could, at the next meeting, bring in some clarification if we want to make that worded a little better.
We had a citizen buy a piece of property. They want to put a house on it. But then he said he wanted to put a shop built on it first, so they could have, they store their materials, build it, so he built the house. So one of our previous administrators, you know the routine on that one, and that's why we need to have this in there, so. Does that cost that woman, three bills for ordinance change on this before she managed to get the house built.
But this one, no one can come in the future and interpret this as, oh, that was just an accessory use, and now we need to have something to be primary use there.
Personally, I don't think so. I think this is just,
Just because for 40 years down the road.
it could.
I just wouldn't want anybody to get
So what
by this.
What happens if, like Ray decides to sell the property? And so you get a single dwelling on there that somebody wants to use as a primary use property going forward. I guess that's my question, right?
Yeah.
Because I think since it's adjacent to his current property, there shouldn't be any issues whatsoever. But
It's gonna say, if that lot to be sold to somebody else who wants to use it for something else, that'd be
that's the only problem. But do we cover that with?
I think this resolution that governs this overall doesn't actually answer that question and could probably use some revisions.
And I guess my other question on that is that, we have made a decision that if you have a primary residence there, that whenever you go to build a secondary residence, it can only be 70% of the primary residence. So if that was to go there and there's already a primary use building on there, would they be allowed to build a house for a primary residence going forward?
Well, Because at that point, it'd be a secondary use building, because it's gonna put a private residence on the residence, it takes to supersede the.
I'm just trying to figure that out, because I mean, I know that's kind of a gray area
Yeah.
that, you know, I mean, since I've been on council. You know, I mean, it's been a gray area going through there, like say there was a young lady that cost her thousands of dollars.
She has the money to build, put a house on property, then she got this mad and sold the property, and she got it done.
Yeah, so, like I say, as being, you know,
Yeah.
a combined unit. I mean, there's no issues that I can see.
I,
The problem is if Ray or his family sells it going down, then where's that gonna, what's that gonna lead to?
Yeah, I think actually this resolution doesn't really cover that. So at the moment, he's basically assuming the risk financially of whatever that may entail in the future.
This might be an ordinance, and we do it. So it's the final.
I agree. I think really this is something that probably should be in the city's planning. Planning, zoning and development ordinance. It's just kind of one thing that's on its own. I think when the current planning and development ordinance was put in, they probably thought, okay, well, this is already there. We don't need to include that in there. And this is just a resolution. It's not even at the level of an ordinance. So yeah, it's something that does need to be addressed in the future, because right now we've got kind of a weird, funky thing that I don't think is really super helpful.
yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I find that one interesting because, you know, to stop and think about it, I don't know. I think I read it was like a 4-acre lot, but if Ray wanted to put like a 4-acre stop down there.
You wish everyone was doing it right.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, it's,
Our home is too small.
yeah, I think it needs to expand. I mean, like I said, I think it's, you know, I mean, I understand where it's coming from.
Yeah.
I had a piece of property there.
I don't think it's-
That's what I don't want to do, right?
That's why the cat, when I talked to, Dax, pissed off about buying that maybe from him here. He asked me why I bought it if I couldn't build on it. I said, because it gives me different road access, my property, my piece of property. It's basically reason, but I would like to put a shop down there someday. But use
Why
it.
is it's not any of your business?
Well,
Why?
What do we need to do on
Okay,
this?
so
Alex?
can we move?
anyway,
So.
so
I'm trying to decide what are.
Yeah, you basically just say, I think I'll improve the wording. I would say the best motion here would probably be, I move to approve the application submitted by Ray Jackman.
I move to approve the application submitted by Ray Jackman.
I'd say, I don't know.
Third.
you got first and second. Have a vote. Give a vote.
Aye.
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 Motion passes.
Nays, motion carried. Okay. Now, resolution, I have to read the release thing about this thing.
Oh, yeah. No, thanks. Okay, so the last one on here is resolution 2311. So if you remember, the resolution we passed, ordinance we passed earlier this year is that when the public works director determines water restrictions are in effect, they're in effect. And then at the next regular council meeting, the council passes a resolution going, yes, we agree with the public works director. Yeah, we agree with him. They're in effect. So we're going to roll on that until the public works director says otherwise. So that's what this resolution does. This also makes, this also specifies that we're going to say that restrictions are in effect beginning July 1st to make sure that we're keeping up with the billing period.
July 1st, we're retroing it?
No,
So,
No, that's
okay,
not
if you
fair.
don't want to hear it, okay,
No,
that's why I read the meters the day of and the day after, so that would be prorated.
okay.
I would not be happy with that.
All right, then we will amend the resolution. We will say effective July 17th, relevant. We are.
We went to the, I don't know how we got that. We missed a couple.
Yep.
And then we dropped down to F.
Well, no, we're on.
Did you get the updated one? Sitting down the table. There's a letter to me that. I know, 37 pages.
But I have plenty of questions on water. The big thing.
Okay. So it's gonna be set up the 17th.
Yeah, that is going to be a headache to figure out, but we will figure it out.
Yeah, I don't think it would
Why
be
can't
fair.
we can either go two ways, we can either prorate it or just move. Start it the first of next month.
Building first, yeah, for the next.
Because we're only talking 12 days, or I guess more than that.
Go with your base rate throughout the July and then August to start with the.
Because we've already helped ourselves by increasing the water rates that we did a couple of months ago. I know that's not optimal, but we're making more money than we had
So,
previously.
How are people notified?
You should get a door tag.
So we're kind of next
Oh.
door.
I got an email, I know that.
Email.
but I don't know.
you got an email, you got an email,
I did.
everybody else got a door tag.
Usually I don't see that door tag on there. I last one there.
You just someone marking your
Yeah,
area,
so-
I don't know if you're
Come
not-
on.
Yeah. Well, you already knew, so I didn't give you a door tag.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah, we put it there, we put it on Nextdoor, we put it on the city's
Okay.
email list, we put it on Facebook.
So they
we
were
put it on,
notified.
The newspaper, so I had several people go, oh yeah, I already saw it on this, and this, so. Somebody saw it at least one different place.
Yeah, as far as billing, I mean, yeah, I think taking it through the end of the month. and then
Yeah,
start
okay.
in August.
So the water restriction rates wouldn't be on there until the bills that are mailed September, or September 10th.
So what about the people between now and then who, are not compliant? We're not changing anything with that, because if we see somebody their water is on, and there's not supposed to be any water usage in their lawn, or washing their car.
Not to think anything like that was good, but it's kind of getting out of the, in the middle.
I was supposed to talk about.
That part doesn't change no matter, no matter what we decide about billing, that part doesn't change.
Yeah.
I get this one.
And then,
May not be a builder for that, but the water bill, we can find them for that, because we've got water restrictions that noted, been notified of it. So that's two different classifications on that side.
and then on the, can I ask a question on the water hauling? Are we doing it like two, three times a week? Or what are we starting out with, Ray? It's a couple times a week, 3 times a week?
Only about yesterday and. As he can fit it in right now.
Yeah, okay, so as his schedule.
Hopefully we'll get better doing it 1 day a week like we were last.
Okay. I just didn't know how crucial we were, I would expect a couple times a week, 3 times a week, but.
18 and a half, I think, when we left. Every foot on that reservoir is 5,000.
Okay. And so I understand the significance of 10 feet. How is that?
30 feet.
Like 30 feet, and every foot's 5 times.
It's 150,000 gallons.
So we were filling up 3 times a day, 4 times a day, or no, a month. 500 gallons.
Are we, Mr. Wallace, are we likely to lose a lot of money in these properties? We're not billing for.
I don't see that because
Probably not.
for one, the school's not using the water right now that they normally use. They're one of the bigger during the rest of the year. They don't have 300 kids flushing the toilet all day anymore. So that's gonna help out in everything.
Mr. Counselor Emeritus Jackman?
You explained it and what happens. You already said something like that, 16, 17.
Oh, PLC.
Right, but you need to elaborate on the pumps will be shut down in a few days.
Yeah. Yeah, the system will be offline for the 2 days, so we will have to be trucking water on that.
Yeah, from daylight to dark.
Or, yeah, we'll see how it flows, but yeah, we may have to step up the trucking for the students or till daylight.
That's a long day.
It'll be short of that.
I just wanted you to understand that those pumps will be down for these 2 days. Right now, they're supplementing, I'm just kind of helping. get it, but you know, that's a month away.
Basically,
And
these are
everything is
backup,
going like this.
these are the backup well. It gives us where our wells have dropped off. We will have no much.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get the reservoir full right before that.
It's really probably just one year, but
Sure. Thank you.
I think the way the ordinance is worded currently, we're supposed to use the updated rates as soon as we go into the water restrictions. But as I've been sitting here thinking about how to do it, one, you were very, very wise and prescient to get the meter reads that way. Because with that data, I do think I have figured out a way to do this. It is still going to be a headache, but a manageable headache. So we will do that. So we just changed one portion of this resolution. So it says July 17th rather than July 1st. So then somebody's going to say, I move to adopt the resolution as amended.
I move to adopt the resolution as.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Anything else that we have?
We got, old business, the GMBL land approval.
Oh, TMDL. You know, I hate this. We've been working on it forever. Finally, what happened with the DEQ is they're like, okay, you know what, we'll just write it for you. So they wrote it for us, and it wasn't really a whole lot different.
Where I was like, what are they gonna do? Until we just grab a piece.
Yeah,
When's that? That's the drainage.
yeah.
Water drainage.
So it wasn't really a whole lot different than what we've been looking at. I looked at it for the JD. We didn't see anything that was really crazy. There wasn't really anything.
They finally realized that idiocy, idiocy.
I hope. One can hope. Yeah.
One thing I even saw in here that I kind of had a question about is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
How we live out in the country, you know.
Dog waste.
Well, not dog waste, pets.
A second.
I'm talking like horses, cows, goats.
Yeah, in the farm country,
Yeah, I mean, so to try to manage that might be a little bit tricky if you got
Yeah.
4 cows running on the property.
Yeah, so what it says in here, it's not a regulatory issue for us, it's an information issue, so we have to provide education and outreach, like, hey, you know, your pet waste. And it's,
We try to get that in the news every once a year for that. Okay. I mean, like I say, we are a rural area, and there are people who have horses, and, you know, I mean. So that next thing they. Oh, yeah, definitely. And the last thing you want to get is a $10,000 penalty because your horse is crap on you.
yeah, thankfully, this isn't a penalty we're imposing, it's just a commitment to educate. people
Okay.
about
That's
it.
all I have. That was the only thing that I looked at. I threw a flag whenever I read through it.
so I'm gonna
Move to accept. Approve the TMDL plan.
I say.
all in favor?
Aye.
No names, motion carries.
So there's an 11B, but it's not on the agenda.
That should have been on the agenda. 11B on the agenda is the street vacation application. So I figured we probably had around 5 hours worth of staff time that was dedicated to talking with Habitat for Humanity back and forth about this stuff. I'd probably put that around $150 in total staff time. I went to just talking to them about street vacation. And then us talking about it and then talking with counselors about it. And then legal fees in total of $60. So that's probably, I think, what we lost on.
Yeah, it's $210 total, right?
Yeah, and we didn't spend like a lot of time on this, so it's just. So basically, there were 3 ideas we had put forth is one to refund them less the legal fees and staff fees, or to refund the fee in full, or just not refund their application fee. So it's up to the council. There's nothing that says we have to refund them and their fee. It's just, yeah, so to,
How are they expecting a refund?
they haven't contacted me.
That's anything. Okay.
They got so much other stuff going on. too, right?
No, I get it, like. Part of me is like, just keep it, but at the same time, like, improve our community, so.
Yeah.
I don't think we really need to do it.
So, I mean, they've been working with us real well, you know, so they've been working with the city, and treating you guys right, so.
So I'm open to giving them money back, it's just how much.
Yeah.
I mean, the talking with them, the $150, that would have happened regardless if it would have been vacated or not, so that's just a part of the deal. So I mean, is that just, we just give them back everything but the 60 for the legal fees?
I
Or do we
think
do the
they
210?
spent extra time on this, that they wouldn't have it, if it went through with everything was given their table. I got it signed by the neighbor or something, I think it should be the 310.
I don't think it should be the full 210. Though. I really don't. I mean, I don't think it should be the 60 either, because Alex has time and stuff there, but I would cut his time in half. And take the 60 on there and make it.
So I cut his time, his and JD's time.
Well, because I really don't think it was intentional, the way that it started out.
If it was intentional, I would probably would have. But I think making it nice, is what we spent of our time, that they could easily
Yeah.
spend something.
Like, you know, I had to research, you know, state laws to make sure I understood what was going on here, what they were asking versus what we could actually do. And most time, you know, they spent on legal research, those time spent, you know, talking on the phone with the school, they took at the same time. You know, and then, you know, JJ looking at the law and then giving his opinion, that kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah.
I get that.
I'm kind of legit. I mean, I think we should get something back. I don't know what that number is. I'm pretty, couple holes, so. Jeff is, that's where I was looking at it, well.
Yeah.
You would have had to done research anyway, if the city would have vacated it or not, so I mean, that's just kind of going along.
So their full application fee is $1,000. So we would be refunding them instead of that. If we pull out the 60 and the 50.
Your time is valuable. We pay you.
I'm getting that, I'm just. $150. The time it was a little more than what Jeff suggested, it's a little less than this 210. I started out at 60, so I mean.
But did you not at one point say, and I don't know the right words, but they kind of knew what they were doing when they came in?
Yeah, I had given them all the information they needed to know in writing, and they came in and did this anyway.
So I don't know that it was malintent, but I think there was intent.
But we didn't have to engage.
No, that was where we messed up, was being cool and we engaged with them. So in theory, we're the ones that got the legal costs, because we should have just let her make her public comment, not have been interacted with her, and then nothing would have happened.
I don't know
That would
about
have been.
that. That was just for us to understand, because we didn't really understand.
What I'm saying is the engagement part is where because it wasn't the proper procedure that we engaged the legal part. She could have said whatever and not engaged the legal part if we hadn't. I don't have the right.
But she never started it when we didn't do it.
True.
And she
True,
was
true,
told
true,
what she
true.
needed to do.
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
prepare to
Good
bring
point.
it to the
Good
table. So we're gonna spend.
If we hadn't engaged, I think I still would have talked to the legal counsel about it, because her just bringing it up resulted in what's called ex parte communication. So yeah, we were really only ultimately in trouble because we engaged, but there was still a chance of legal jeopardy just for doing that. So I think even if we hadn't talked back, I still would have gone to the legal counsel and gone, this is a problem.
And that would have been for our knowledge too, right?
Yeah.
Because now we know how to handle those procedures, hopefully.
Yeah.
Not saying that it won't happen again, but I'm just saying that, you know, at least it gave us some guidance, so.
Yeah.
And I'm still sticking with what you were saying, about 150-ish or so. I'm good with it.
I mean, that's a cool, I mean, you're getting back $850.
And we're still gonna be working with them because they got the other property down here.
I mean, I'd rather not.
They have two properties,
I'd
right?
rather not get them angry.
They have the one up there that's being built, and they have the other one down there.
We don't do it right.
The council,
It's about doing it right.
they want to
Trade
divide it.
two, I think we traded 2 for 3 FBs.
They wanted to divide it because there's some issues there and they might turn, throw a big old stink about that too.
I remember they made that, I made that comment.
have any comments on it?
Mr. Mayor, do you have any comments on this?
Fall asleep.
Brian?
What's up?
Oh, do you have any comments on this?
I think that it was a little bit of our fault, a little bit of their fault. I think $150 is fair.
Okay, fair.
So that
mean, that's-
that motion.
Remember?
Yeah, like I said, I like work with it too, and like I say, you know, it was a mistake on on everybody's part, so I think that's how it's fair. So, you got a motion?
I make a motion that, we refund the Habitat for Humanity. For the vacation application fees,
Less $150.
less $150 and legal fees. I think that was it.
Got a second on that one?
I second the motion.
Vote?
Aye.
All in favor?
I
Nays? Motion carried.
All right.
Oh, there it is.
I have a report on Con.
Ooh, cool.
A nice long meeting today.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys like to hear this stuff from the meeting, but, they have brought in a grant writer, or they're bringing in a grant writer. Several of them, of which there might be a share of cost for us to be able to use them, so that's a good thing. We can't hire our own grant writer. They've got a project manager. They're finalizing purchasing property in Corvallis to move some of the organization over there, which would enable them to offer better services. And then just information, Albany will be getting a hotel downtown. And they have a tiny home, a tiny home village, thank you, 27 houses.
Almost or
One how many times.
So as far as, writing our grants, you do that, right?
Yeah, right now I'm the guy who does grants. This kind of came out of a conversation we had. Brian took us all and said, okay, you as your staff people who are there. We have kind of a couple different ways to go. One was focusing on staff, and one was just really going on economic development. Like, well, Sodaville has no economy, but you know, having some help with grant writing, that'd be nice. And that was the kind of balance of the comments from the city managers in the area. That meeting was, yeah, if we could just have some extra help with grant writing, that would be good. The city manager of Lebanon made a great point, is that there's a lot of state grants now have DEI requirements, and it's like, okay, Lebanon's population is 99% white. There's not really any way, we don't have the capabilities to shove DEI requirements into a grant application in any way that's really going to help us. So if somebody else who knows how to shove DEI requirements into a city that's 98% white can do that, that'd be really helpful for the city. So that was kind of the thrust there. The city managers were pretty much in agreement that the best way to go forward using COG's resources was to get a grant writer who was kind of shared between the COG and between the cities. So yeah, I think that'll be very helpful for us. Even to me as somebody who does grant writing, to have at least another set of eyes at a lower cost, I think could be very helpful for us. But once we get the water in, I think we can fix the general store across the street into a community center, and having somebody to help writing grants for that, I think would be very, very valuable. And, we probably want, even more water system improvements when I look at maybe fixing some of our other wells up there, that kind of thing, anything we can dream up. So I think this will be very valuable for us. Roads, exactly.
And they did say they put a focus on water.
Yeah.
So off top of the water, but a friend of mine works for Redmond Fire Department. I had him out look at a couple of our hydrants. He said he would look into if we had to upgrade them to work with the fire trucks. But he said that that their trucks will hook up to all our hydrants.
They will, they all have the same size.
So when I was at the meeting last time, someone mentioned that they're so old that they can't, and they would have to bring in one of those. Okay. I'm pretty sure Roger said that last time I did, but
They put a drain on our system, so. Yeah.
anyway, it just made me feel good.
They most likely will never affect our hydrants because of our small system. They would order,
Bring it in.
they will go to tender shop. Not probably for a couple of the trees.
He was at my house. I had him take a look because when we were at the meeting, someone had suggested, maybe that's where I overheard it, said that they bring in a tank because they would never hook up to our hydrants. And I just, so why wouldn't they hook up to our hydrants?
They were put in two companies for them. They local fire.
Yeah, there's people.
Yeah. That when we left those hydrants, we usually borrow a thing to refuse it from them to hook up to a hydrant. But our water system. Okay, have any more going on? Okay. This must be public comment time. It's the time to speak. Thanks, city council, mayor, or any subject other than what's on it. Other than what's.
I want to thank every one of you for the important part that you play in helping Sodaville. Soon we'll have this water issue behind us, and I appreciate all your work. Sorry I couldn't be there.
We appreciate you and hope you feel better soon.
Definitely, but thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any public comment? No, during comment?
Tim, you had something earlier.
Well, I was wondering on the streets, when you start grading, I mean, sitting on that, how long is it gonna affect the residents from going in and out of their house, going to work, coming home?
Get up and go have all get that done.
How long is it gonna take to set up where they can actually drive on it? We can't drive on it right away.
We're not doing any stay in the house, anything that's just gonna go. Yeah, I'm agreed.
The same day?
Yeah.
And there's not that much traffic. Right.
That's it, get it, Jerry.
So, Councilor Joseph is the only one driving.
We talked to those people down the street.
So you're the one tearing up the roads, no? I want to see in 2 years.
Okay, that was both the most adjourned.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor? Aye. There it is, Brian.
Brian Helios.
Okay.
Thank you.